This pattern includes 3 ways to finish the end of your zipper, and I am going to start with using a zipper end, a metal zipper end that you can purchase. I have the zipper end, a screw, a screwdriver, and I prefer to glue them in. I use goop. This is similar to E6000. And a toothpick to keep it from there, just to keep it extra secure. All right, so we figure out what length you would like your zipper to be. I'd like it to be about that length. So I'm going to trim it. And open up my glue. And get a little bit of glue out. And coat the inside of this. It doesn't need to be a super thick coat, but I do want it on all the surfaces. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for a moment. I'm going to fold the end of the zipper in. Like that. And I'm going to just trim off that because it's going to, so it won't get in the way. And then and this works for a larger zipper too. I'm just going to slip this over the end. And I'll slide it down as far as I can. Doesn't that look nice? And then, if you have a larger zipper, it might be harder to get in, and I just use scissors or a knife or another toothpick. And I shove it in until it is where I want it to be. So I put the little screw on the back and tighten that. And I screw it until it is flat, flush with this raised screw spot. I don't know what it's called, but that's flat. All right, and now that can dry. It looks like when I was screwing it, I pulled it out on one side a little, so I'm going to push it back in so that it's straight again. There. And I can set that aside and let it dry. But now when I unzip this, it opens all the way. I'm not going to all the way to the end because I don't want to mess with the glue. And then I hold this to get it to zip it. Now I do notice there's a little extra glue here. While it is still, before it dries is the best time to pull off this extra glue, because it just pulls right off. If you leave it and let it dry and then you try to pull it off, you won't be able to get it off. There. So this one is done except for the wristlet strap. The second finishing method for zipper end in the pattern is to make a tab, and you're going to use your piece J and cut out a square. Now if you are using a 3-inch zipper, a size 3 zipper, you can sew this with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. For a size 4.5 or 5 zipper, I'm going to, which is what this is, I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I will also trim this to 1/8 of an inch. And use a point turner to turn it right side out and get the corners crisp. You can use an iron to press this as well. I'm just using my fingers for now, but an iron does help make it nice and crisp. And I'm going to turn this raw edge under about 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch, or you can turn it all the way till it meets this end, however large of a tab you'd like. And press that. Then I will put this over the end of my zipper and just slide it on. Okay, now you can sew all the way around this as a rectangle. What I'm just going to do right now is sew a line across and back. So this is finished with a zipper tab. So this one is all done because I'm not making a wristlet strap for it. And the third option is to make what I call a compact tab. It's just a smaller zipper tab. And you take your piece J and cut it down. If you are using a wider zipper like a 4 1/2 or 5, you'll trim it to 1 1/4 inches wide. But for this size 3 zipper, I trimmed it to 1 inch wide. Then I pressed it in like that so that the raw edges meet in the middle. Then I folded it in half like that and folded these raw edges in to meet in the middle. Made sort of little binding with no raw edges. Now I'm just going to clip that. So this is one of my test patterns, and I am going to cut this a little shorter to the length I want. And I am going to fold it in thirds so that the zipper tape is all the way underneath the zipper coils. I'm going to trim off some of these extra bits. Now, if you want to, you can run a basting stitch over this to keep it in place. You can do that, or you can just slip the binding on the end. I'm going to do the little basting stitch just to make things a little easier when I'm putting it in place. And yes, I still have pink thread, but since this is just a test bag that I'll probably give to one of my kids, it's okay. So I'm going to take this binding piece and put it over the end of the zipper like that. And I'm going to stitch across it just like I did for the bigger zipper tab, but back and forth. And go slowly. Use my hand wheel if necessary because this is pretty thick. back across the same seam again. And I'm done with this little compact zipper tab, which is just, I think is cute, low profile. So that is the third method.